Look, look. Wow, it is such a beautiful day here in Chicago on another Sunday. 3 Sundays in a row. It feels like spring is actually here. We got robbed the last 2 years of no spring at all. So this is amazing for March. Beginning of March, having 2 Sundays, 3 Sundays in a row, just absolutely amazing. As we see that I only put this up here so you can see what the product is starting to look up behind me. I think it's turning out absolutely amazing. I have actually more views on this one, the last video, that I've had for all the other ones. I think it's because you can sort of see the project coming together. But all that's coming back down because I was wanting to show you what's starting to look like. Because I'm going to do some wiring back here, drill a hole, and the extra wiring is for this. This is accent lighting, the LED strips that could be controlled by Alexa, which what we run in our house. Wi-Fi, it could go with the beat of the music, blink, and go with all the music. It has the full color spectrum, and it can be controlled by your phone as well, and it has a little remote. So it covers all the bases on how to control this. I don't have Alexa in here, but it might happen. So, but we'll do an unboxing of this after I get everything ready. The lighting is going to go on these 2 shelves around the back of the TV, behind the stereo, and along basically the rear at the bottom of the slat wall. So it's going to just bring up some nice accent lighting, and I think it's going to look really cool. And you know what? I just want a little bit more flair, I guess. So it's definitely becoming more of a man cave than a garage, but trust me, it's still a garage. I just really wanted to look pretty decent. Right now it's an absolute wreck, but without further ado, let's get going. I'm going to take all this stuff down and then drill a couple holes, and I'll show you what's in the box. Like I said, what's in the box? All right. Well, yeah, this is what happens. Sometimes you're drilling a hole with a hole saw and the darn bit breaks off. Are you kidding me? Ah. We have our subwoofer wire here. Got our right and our left. They're going up here. You won't see these wires on the side anymore. And they're fished behind here. I drilled out this hole right here, and this grommet is going to go in that place right here. But what I'm going to do now is show you what's in the kit for the LED lighting, how it's wired, and how you hook things up with it. So, and where it's going to go on the TV. And let's get going. This is a Ambother, I guess that's the way you pronounce it. Ambother Smart LED strip light. I got this off of Amazon. It's about 36 feet, and it costs about $36. And it has Alexa capability, Wi-Fi. It can beat with the music, blink with the music, and it's got a remote and an app as well. So it's pretty all-encompassing. So here we have the power brick as well as the owner's manual. Finally got that bag open. Okay, so in here, got well, some small parts too. This is basically your receiver. You have your power plug on one end and the infrared receiver on the other. You can plug your power on there, and this is where the remote. You want to make sure this pigtail is in the area, not blocked by anything. Here's some pigtails to just join the LED strips together
if you want. How nice of them. They gave me like 3 pieces of small 3M double-sided tape. And here are the rolls of LED lights. You know, they do say that you can use these outside, but given the temperature ranges, I would suggest that you do not. Keep them for indoor use. And plus, if you're joining lights together, there's no like silicone or anything to protect the connectors. It's a nice little roll. It reminds me of those old reel-to-reels for like data centers. I purchased a spool of this 4-wire. It's actually meant for this LED strip lighting. I'm gonna be using this to run behind all the slat wall and anywhere else I need to. This way I'm not wasting this LED strip. There's no reason for it to go behind the slat wall. And that's what that wire is for. You can actually cut these right in the middle of there. You can see that there's a little scissors right here. You cut right between, and you could just come down to length. And I'm going to be using that wire and soldering it onto those connectors.
And that's what's in the box. Isn't that amazing? Let's get wiring.
After I get the measurements, I'm going to just go ahead and cut it where it's safe to cut, right where you see the scissor mark, and that's about it. Unfortunately, the instruction manual didn't show any of these steps, nor did the app. So you're left on an island and trying to figure out, maybe watching some YouTube videos. But actually, when you really look at it, you might be able to figure it out on your own here. You actually have to pull back the outer layer here to get to the connectors. It wreaks havoc on your fingernails. I mean, it just digs right underneath it. It gets painful. So, but this is the only way to do it. Once you peel it back, then you can go ahead and cut that rubber off the top, and this way you have the exposed copper or connections where you could solder. And here's a close-up. It's very thin. It should be pretty easy to solder. And I'm going to be doing this for all the ends going around the perimeter of the back of the TV. Now they do make junction clips, basically, that will make a connection for you. Well, not really for you, but to make it a little bit easier to do this. Unfortunately, the way that the width and height of this TV, I could not get those clips to line up and have LEDs in the correct areas. So right now I am just tinting the pads of these LED strips, and I also pre-tinned basically a pigtail. That 4-wire that I showed you earlier, made a really small, cut them down, pre-tinned them, and so you're going to see that on the next step on how I'm going to fasten these. As you see, I also have a piece of heat shrink tubing on there, and it's going to be ready to go to help just protect it. Now, this is black, green, red, and blue, the wires here. And actually on the LED strip, which I didn't show you here, but there also tells you which pad and which color. So it's pretty difficult to mess it up. When you're soldering this though, you want to make sure that none of these accidentally jump over. So these solder joints have to be nice and straight and as flush as possible. After you're done soldering these down, I'm actually pushing them down a little bit, making sure that I have no sharp edges or anything. You're going to just want to twist it and then basically make a loop. That way that you're lining up all the colors again on here. And just repeat the process. Just solder them back down. Now, this is a TV. I want to make sure that I'm not going to damage it, so I make sure that the heat shrink is well, and the heat gun's well off the surface of this. As I heat it up, see, it's not even close. And I'm doing this for 3 of the 4 corners, and it has adhesive on the back. I fix it to the TV. Now I'm assembling, putting the light strips on for 3 shelves, and I'm using those angle adapters for here, but this is literally taking me forever to do because I have to make pigtails out of these. I should have just soldered on instead of using these little corner pieces, but it is what it is now, and it's going to help keep the wire flush on the shelf as well. So here we go, 3 shelves to go. These are my 3 shelves. I got the 2 outer shelves. The one in the middle is where the stereo is. You see the strip is at the back, and these are in the middle. You'll see the reason why once everything's on the shelf. Hopefully it all works out. It's a gamble. Now we're just going to drill some holes into the slat wall, fish the wires down. And we're going to be doing a little bit more soldering here later on after I mount both shelves and fish the wire. This way I can get a better understanding of how all the connections are going to go. now that the wiring is out of the way, now it's time to clean up this mess. Oh man, tools everywhere, everything everywhere, boxes everywhere, scraps of parts everywhere. Time to get to it.
Here is one of my favorite subscriptions. You know, I subbed to this channel not that long ago, but it's Mr. Tracks. He's got some really awesome music. I suggest you check him out. He subbed to my channel, and of course, anyone that subs to my channel, as long as it's not private, I will go and see what their channel is about. It's just, and I would most likely always sub to theirs. But I really dig his music. It is great. I would suggest you check it out. And you know what? Man, this garage is looking pretty darn cool. Hey, I think it came out pretty darn good. So it's amazing wires back there. I had to basically start, yeah, well, it's a big loop behind there. And I have one LED strip that seems to be giving me a little bit of a trouble. It's all on the same connection, so I don't know why this one says I'm going to do some different colors once in a while. But anyways, that's we still have some more things going on here that need to be tightened up, but that'll be another episode for a later time. My back is really hurting. Done a I'm sure my doctor isn't gonna appreciate what I've been doing. So fat one-legged dude doing all this stuff. So you know, this I'll run down also my RC car collection in another video. I did put some more all the way up there, and I got 2 more right there on the wings. I didn't put a LED strip up there. It's just too high, and plus I think that would just be overkill. It was a lot more soldering and stuff than I thought it would be, but you know what? I think it turned out pretty darn good. I still have some Slatwall accessories and stuff that I'm gonna put down here, and that's again for another episode. So, but I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I really hope that you enjoyed this, and hopefully I gave you insight of something that you can do in your own garage. It looks pretty darn good. Nice antique stereo, things. It looked pretty good. So, anyways, thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe, like, be sure to watch whenever you can. Have a great evening, day, morning, whatever it is. Catch you next time.